we have heard a lot from the panelists that what have been their experience, what they have been doing, experiencing, and strategizing. And with that thought, I think I'll move down the stage and I'll put an open house. I'll give a topic. And the idea is, like we used to have debates in school. I hope so majority of you would have participated. Ye those who have been doing it. Can I see the hand raises? See, we have good debaters, it seems. So I have a couple of topics. I'll say the topic and I'll proceed with ones who are in favor or against it, and I would like to hear your opinion on that. We just discussed about the legacy systems and how AI-based tools are there. So as the question over here is, what do you think is the better of way? Is it AI-driven solutions or legacy system? Are we there? Is it time to reimagine your IT infrastructure? And sir, I'll proceed with you first. What is your take on that?
So I will go with the old school of thought. I will prefer the legacy way because otherwise the surgeon doctors will go away from the market. So the legacy way is the best way to build the solid foundation, and we should have the common sense enough to use where to put the AI first.
Okay, so you're saying the common sense needs to come in first before we move to the legacy.
Yeah.
Anyone in favor of having AI-driven solutions?
Okay, so myself, Dr. Nitin Pise. So I'm working in MIT from last 25 years. Total, I have 30 years experience. So, and I'm teaching AI from last, say, 23 years, 2001. So I will go with the AI development solution because they are based on the data driven. So our climate related to climate, temperature, rainfall. So all these our government organizations, which are in Pune also, or CDAC, they are also using data-driven approaches for predicting the rainfall, then to try to save the human beings from flood and other calamities. Like there are different, what you can say, tycoons and all that.
Using these tools,
Yeah.
so is it embedded in the legacy systems, or these are some new AI-driven tools that you're using?
Yeah. So I think we have to use legacy system, but on top of that, we have to use AI-driven tools. And as the discussion was there on DPDP, so and European Union as well as USA, so they have very harsh. They can sue like Google, Facebook. So similarly, we have to adopt the policies in India also. Like if Facebook is actually based in the USA, so why they should not have their data center or like say whatever the information or profile of our users, so should reside in India. So we should adopt these policies. And main thing is no problem adopting the AI-driven solutions. But like if I am developing a solution, AI-based solution for healthcare industry, so always we have to take the final opinion, even though the data scientist is generating the AI model. So we have to consult the domain expert. For example, maybe some pharmacists will be there or doctors will be there. So we are developing and we are asking students to develop the AI-based solutions for handling the depression. So that can be multimodal. So now, right now you can click on the Facebook or X. You can write related to your emotion that I will be dying after 2 days or something like that. So many cases are happening on Facebook. So they have done the Facebook Live and immediately they have done suicide. Many students as well as. So one thing is we cannot stop the progress of AI. But as I mentioned, so every time the data scientist is generating some model, he has to consult the domain expert. Whatever may be healthcare, if it is insurance, so he has to consult with the insurance expert. So only last point will be, no doubt we have to have mix or hybrid model along with, because we have very good legacy, Sanskriti or culture. So we have to tell to our students as well as young generation who is working. So along with that, like OpenAI is promoting AI and Microsoft is heavily investing. So future, if we want to become a 5 trillion economy, so there is no doubt we have to work on AI-based solution, data-driven solution. But always we have to keep, or we have to tell the persons or developers to have human in loop. So final decision should be taken by human. So, and the time will come when the software developers, they will have the job to manage as well as monitor how the different artificial intelligence agents or generative AI, whatever the coding is generated. So they have to monitor, and final call will be that software engineer who is in control of monitoring or guiding all the AI-based agent. So this type of roles will come in future.
So definitely,
Thank you very
thank
much
you for your
for giving me
participation,
a chance
Anand sir.
to speak on the topic.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And here's a small token of appreciation from our side. So definitely there's no clear-cut favor or against. Legacy system have been there with us. AI is the way forward, but somehow we need to have that human intelligence. And so you raised a hand, yes.
Yeah. So I'll bridge that.
Legacy
we
systems.
have to have the legacy system, but it will be always there that you will have a legacy system because AI is evolving, your legacy systems are also evolving, and you have to bridge that. So every organization will have a maturity level which will go on from 1 to 5, where they will be maturing enough to implementing different solutions on different platforms or different ways of doing it. But we have to go that way because that will be going to improve the efficiency. It is going to give you a different ways of doing business as well. Yeah.
Great. Can I have your name, sir?
Nitin.
Nitin.
Nitin Narkar.
Thank you so much, sir. And with this, here's a token of appreciation from our side. And as we have discussed that the foundation is data for all these AI solutions. So the next topic that I would like to comes in terms of data ownership in the age of Gen AI. So when it comes to data ownership, is it really empowering the business, or somewhere we are invading the privacy of the consumers? So it's the question of business opportunity and ethical minefield. So if anyone from, yes, sir. If I can have your name first.
Yeah,
Sorry.
hi, I'm Jaresh. So again, it is kind of, using it in a right way. If we use it in a right way, it is going to be a win-win situation for both. Excuse me. So, and in that, I think consents and all this what we talked about, DPDP Act and so on. So for Indian companies, yes, DPDP is coming now. But certain MNCs who are on kind of on Europe or on US kind of business models and ownership, they are into kind of implementing GDPR and US laws right from the beginning. So if it is used in a right way by taking consent, and not just taking the consent, but when we take the consent, I think it is important to have partnership with the customer, which I think we talked about, and I think you also mentioned in your opening statement. So it is going to be all about partnership. It is going to be a shared ownership, wherein we are explaining customer why we are taking his data, what he is going to get benefit, and also we as an organization win. And holistically, like, it is delivering better results. That's an approach which I believe we should have to adopt. Yeah.
So right now, what do you think from the organization standpoint? Have they drawn that ethical fine line, or they are still looking more in terms of business opportunity?
I think it is kind of different at different organizations. Some of the organizations, yes, they have achieved that maturity curve, but not fully, I would say, with due respect. Yeah.
Okay. And do you think DPDP Act will somehow create that barrier and ensure that they have those ethical code of conducts in place?
Yeah, so I feel when it is going to come into place, like initially there is going to be a gap, but as we would pass over the time, in long run, yes, it is going to give, what you are saying is very right. It is going to go into the right direction, and overall maturity at a country level, maturity at an organization level, it would come up. That's what I feel. So today what you see in, let's say, some of the European countries, let's say in France or in kind of Netherlands or even I would say in UK and these kind of countries, India would attain that stage in due course of time. But it is required to go that way.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Excuse me. Many organizations are doing digital.
Can I have your name first, please?
My name is Manoj Sawant. I'm
Okay,
from
yes.
Divinity Technology. Many organizations are doing digital transformation at the pace of increasing of data. So big data is equal to risk. Okay, and that risk mitigation will come into picture with the DPDP Act. Some of the organizations are putting just who will use what data, how and when. Number two, the generative AI, which is putting a big mind-blowing open brain to the people technology. Now, how that data will intact and data to decision will act in the organization is very important. So we have to balance legacy data, yes, structured legacy data with matured applications in the organization, and how that data driven will take place from top to bottom approach. And after, at the end of the day, who will use what data, how that data is secured. Still organizations are taking NDA from the employees, from the support partners, how that will take place is very important.
And you think organization will, because once the DPDP Act will be there,
Yeah,
there would be a hard line
obviously.
instead of a blurry line.
Yes.
Do you think still organization will somehow try to find some loopholes? Because once there's a hard line, that's my presumption, and please help me
Yeah.
correct, the opportunity, the business opportunity will get restricted.
No, it will get restricted, but now this government is having a lot of open mindset to discuss with the industries. How this, so there are a lot of forums which are taking place who is giving guidance to government to put the proper governance, data governance in structure. So they will help into some kind of leverage into DPDP Act, according to
Okay.
me. So
So when you talk about giving some leverage, how will you justify this some leverage, where it should stop?
yeah, actually what happened, some kind of leverage, because one side we are talking, we are trying to achieve 5 trillion economy. We would like to grow. Many investment should come in India. And this DPDP Act will block some kind of openness in the system. So they have to make balance
Yeah,
according to me.
definitely, because I'm sure the ones who would be most sad about would be the marketing people in the
Yeah,
organization.
yeah, yeah.
Because earlier they had a free hand on
Yeah.
whatever data comes,
Correct.
they were just collecting it, but
Yeah.
now with the consent coming up, suddenly that quantum of data towards them will reduce.
Yes.
The kind of
absolutely.
analysis they were doing or whatever fruitful insights were coming over there, that
Yes.
will come to a pause. So
Yes.
how much would be the impact on the business opportunities?
In 1 to 10, it may have 6 to 7, according to me.
Okay.
Because a lot of MNC will face challenges.
Not only is that, if you see it as a challenge, yes, because there were somebody who had the early adopter advantage, made money out of the data and things like that. But when it comes to a place like this, where we are setting a market at a country level, across the country level, don't see it as a challenge. It is an openness for creating a level playing field. Every marketeer will have to go through the same guardrails. So it is, yes, it is delayed, but now we have a fair play. That is the way to look at the opportunity. And as Indians or anybody, we will find a way out. The thing is that with proper guardrails. So it is a blessing in disguise is what I would say.
Okay.
See,
Great.
I just wanted to share my opinion here because we are talking about data residency and all. I'm Kavindra. I'm managing the cloud technology stack for Kotak Mahindra Bank. So we deal with adoption of Gen AI a lot. What I think is, we are neglecting the data security many a times. Whosoever is working on ground, they know the loopholes. Okay, even though DPDP Act will get enforced, will be applicable, there will be loopholes because people knows how to get the data out of it. The adoption of AI should not be market driven because the way people or enterprises are adopting AI, they are just doing a race. Okay, there's a competitive market. They just wanted to win. And to win to the situation, they are just adopting AI without understanding how it is going to impact. The data which they are playing with, how it is secure, whether that data is not getting misused by some other competitor, no one is thinking from that point of view. So AI, we believe that we need to adopt AI, but we also need to understand how are we going to secure the data as well. From infrastructure point of view, whosoever is using the infrastructure or accessing the infrastructure, how we can make sure that the user access management is properly in place. I think Saurabh from Google, he talked about IAM as well. So that is also one of the very major factor which we need to think of when we are playing with data. So data should not be played with, should not be shared across the competitors. That is something which we need to take care of.
Okay. And very correctly you pinpointed that, we need to secure the data. But apart from securing the data, how responsible or ethical do you think organizations are, or they are willing to move that way when it comes to usage of data that they have for their benefit versus ensuring that, here we need to stop?
See, organizations are ethical. Okay, on
Okay.
papers they are very much ethical.
On papers.
Yeah. Because when they're sitting in front of auditors, they are pretending that they are very much secure. They are following the guidance, all the governance process, everything is in place. Okay. So on papers they are very much ethical, but they need to be ethical by roots as well. I mean, that is something which is needed.
Mhm.
Okay. So just to answer this, to be ethical on papers is not sufficient enough. We need to be ethical by roots as well.
True. Right.
So
One sentence only. So, 2 years during the lockdown, Indian government has organized one conference that is called RISE AI. So R stand for responsible AI. Then I stand for interpretable, or that is explainable. S for social, and E for ethical. And when currently I am teaching the subject advances in AI for first year MTech data science students. So, and in that, so 4 units are explainable AI, edge AI, robotics. Last unit is ethics. So whenever I teach that last unit, so I told the student that whenever you are developing any AI system, maybe short like doing any Android app development using AI, so that should be ethical, and you have to develop the models which are unbiased. That means, for example, if a recruiting company is there and that is favoring male or maybe Asian race, that can be biased examples, but that should not happen. So we have to inculcate the young generation. So whatever he is saying, auditor, so that is now maybe they may retire after 10, 20 years. So now we cannot do as much because DPDP and other, that will be help definitely. And we have to have golden means. But when the next generation is coming, like we are teaching the students, so at the same side, whenever industry is recruiting, so they have to inculcate it. So whenever they are giving the training, so they should teach how they should not use the unethical practices whenever they are developing the AI models or machine learning models or generative AI models. So that can help, I think. So thank you.
Definitely. I think the organizations need to move that ethical approach from papers to action. And I think in MBA we all will be having ethics as a subject. So it's time to actually implement those ethical lessons to our the usage of AI. And last but really interesting question.
So, Pratik over here.
Okay.
So, before that ended and while I hear you guys, I have a bit different opinion. So, something that goes said in the data is that everybody's data is out there. You're just not important enough if you it has not been misused. So, most of us, the kind of systems that we use, the data is there. And I think one of the things that, when we talk about data sharing across organizations or across companies, that when we have been talking, there has never been a centralized system that can analyze and provide equilateral insights to everyone. So everyone would like to get the data and process it in their own way, and then sort of give the conclusion that's the best for their business, and hence the data sharing and hence the leakages and everything, right? But when it comes to AI, I think new kind of models would arrive, especially in payments. There, it has arisen. It's called Account Aggregator Framework. RBI released it. So these kind of models would come where the customers don't have to place trust on 10 different organizations, maybe let's say 10 different banks, but they can put the trust in some licensed entity that their government has licensed and thoroughly vetted, right? That entity can take your data, keep your data, and share the insights about your data. Because most of the companies that are running businesses and, as you said, marketing companies, or you put in people, they're looking for insights at a level, right? And not really looking for the PII information. I might be wrong, but mostly the use cases I've seen where you take the data, you don't care कि किसी का phone number क्या है, किसी का email ID क्या है. You just go ahead and sort of analyze that data for the actionable insight that you get.
At a very aggregate level, where
Correct.
we just create personas that, where who fits.
Right,
It's
right.
just about that when they're moving to the actions,
Right.
then it should not go at the PII level.
Correct. And I think what AI can change the game is that need of that bringing that data into your own system and to sort of get that actionable insight. You can have unbiased model, as Sir said, and have ethics pre-built in, government verified. METI has a paper that anything any model that you're releasing into a D2C environment, you sort of need to get it vetted by METI. So when those kind of things happen, I think GenAI would in fact increase the kind of insights sharing with the security controls sort of being in place, or maybe even better than before, because the need of sharing data is over and you can just talk in terms of insights. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Can I have your good name, please?
Chetan.
Thank you, Chetan. This was definitely really insightful. And before we conclude this open house session, just one last question, and I will just require two people. So one question is, where do you think AI will for sure replace humans in terms of their contribution in intelligence? And two areas where AI will definitely not replace humans. Anyone on that?
In medical science, AI cannot replace human. This is my
In terms of R&D, you are saying, or with
no prediction.
actual
Like
practice?
I mean,
Okay.
this is my
Definitely. No, definitely. Mhm. Okay, great. Thank you so much. And I think that is something that we all are relying on, that while it is artificial intelligence, it stays artificial, and humans continue with their real intelligence and all the related cues related to it, the emotional question as well. And thank you so much, everyone, for your participation in this open house.